Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. Thank y'all for watching the channel as always. I have a review video here and it is for a deck spindle for an MTD. It's many different applications, but this one is the ZT1 Ultima Cub Cadet. It's not too old, but it has a blown deck spindle. I'm doing this for a customer. I have a company that reached out to me called BeeSeeds, and they sell a bunch of mower parts. They said they're a startup, and they're just trying to get more and more products and more notoriety. So they reached out to me and sent me this. This is a deck spindle. I'll read off the number to you. The product is also down below. It's a 918-04822B deck spindle. That is what matches what this mower needs on the manual, and I'm going to open it up and give y'all a idea of what it looks like before we put it on. We'll go through the process of putting it on as well. So let me open this thing up. Got it off of Amazon. They are an Amazon store. I contacted them about this on a Monday morning. Today's Tuesday and it's already here. So if you need it quick and you got Prime, you can probably get this thing pretty quickly. So in this comes with your pulley. We'll make sure this is the same size it should be. I know it goes on, it can go on other MTD mowers. There's your pulley. Sometimes these things don't come with pulleys, so that's kind of nice. Mounting bolts, and here's your deck spindle. So there you go. Bearings and everything. What's really nice, sometimes these don't come with it like this. This comes with the threaded holes. You see that? So that means you don't have to tap the holes. Some of these spindles don't, and it's a little frustrating. So you see we got going up and down a little bit. That's okay. Once we strap the blade in, screw the pulley on, this thing's going to be good. So got a grease zerk right there as well to grease it up with. We'll pre-grease it and we'll put it on this Cub Cadet. Comes with the nut right here. You will have to reuse your nut on the bottom. It does not come with one of those. They are basically the same nut on each side, so as long as you can save one of the two off of the old deck spindle, you'll be just fine. So that's the review. I like the product so far. It looks pretty solid. Going aftermarket for deck spindles, save about half really. So keep them in mind. Let's go ahead and get started. I will take the deck off. I'll show you how to take the deck off of this because it's kind of similar to other MTDs. Even the lawn tractors, they kind of have the same premise. So let's get started. I'll show you the points to take off the deck, and then we'll get to the point of putting this deck spindle on. You can put it on without taking the deck off, but for the time it takes the deck off, it's going to save you the frustration and aggravation of having to work around the body of the mower to try and get it to work. So let's take the deck off. I'll show you how to put this thing on and we'll test it out. So I'll be transparent. This is the first time I've worked on one of these. But what you want to do is get the deck all the way up, and then we're going to, which I'm just pushing the foot pedal for it. We're going to get it all the way down to the lowest, which is 1, showing how many inches. We're going to lower the deck all the way down. This is the best way to service it. You have, from what I can see on this mower, 2 points that you have to take off on each side, or 1 point on each side, which is this cotter pin, whatever you want to call it, R-clip. Get that taken off, which I can't do with one hand. On the other side, you have the same thing. And then in the front, you've just got that right there. So we're going to take those 3 off. what I also do is push this rod up, and then I will raise the deck back up. These arms will come up, the deck will not, after you take these push pins out, and this deck should literally come right off. What we also will need to do, well, we won't have to because the spindle's already bad, is it's already thrown the belt, so I just need to basically take it off of the PTO clutch in the back, and your belt is going to be good to be disengaged so that we can take the deck off. So let me do that, and when I'm at the deck, we'll go ahead and replace the spindle. So we're at this point. I took those pins off each side and in the middle, as well as the clips. And with the deck all the way down, they just slide right out. So what we didn't need to do now is just push this up, which I don't know if this one locks in. If it doesn't, you just turn that wheel over there up to 4.5 and it'll stay up, and we should just be able to slide it out. Here's what I did with the front. I just slid the rod up and over and just let it rest right there. That way there's no obstruction getting the deck off. We shouldn't have any issues getting the deck off anyways, because the belt is already loose. So I just need to take it off of the PTO clutch in the back, which is just a matter of sliding it off, I think, because it's tension spring held on the deck. And it's already off, so I'll slide it right there, push this up. But you do have to turn the wheel, and it should just slide out. There we go. Let me show you the damage of the old deck spindle here. So what happened is I fixed the bearings on it once, but it didn't last but for so long, and this time it ended up cracking the housing when it broke. So it needed the repair done pretty badly. Let me grab the tools that I need. I'm probably going to blow this deck off as well, and we will go ahead and get going with this. I'll get the deck belt routing and all that correct again on it, and we should be in good shape here. It's just a matter of four bolts and 2 nuts basically. Get this thing off. Alright, so we'll start out under the mower. We're going to take the blade off first. And that kind of frees everything up. Blade on backwards. No, it was on correct. And so basically, you can see this shaft is just done on the inside. So it just finally wiggled its way out. Let's get to the top again. What I do is I do the blade first, because on the top here you can hold down this pulley while you pull it off. Remember this washer as well. You can put that back on the new spindle. Just save those nuts. In this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to knock the shaft down and keep the pulley. Because we're not saving that shaft. I will save this pulley because they're nice to have. Just like that. You can just see this thing is just absolutely done. Like, broke off down here and a bunch of other stuff, and the shaft should just come right out. Bearing, and I mean, this thing was ready to go. I think I just gave it a little bit of extra life. I told them that it may not hold up, but I didn't charge them much. I basically just charged them about a half hour, 45 minutes of labor. Now all you got to do is get some 10, these maybe 10 millimeters. Clean out from right here, these 4 10 millimeters. I'll rejoin you to get these bolts off. All right, so let's do this. Maybe 3/8. Sometimes these won't come off easily. You have a little bit older mower that's a little bit more rusted. Impact is your best friend. Alright guys, this old one's off. You can see this thing is absolutely done. Just completely done. So now let's check the new one. And all that's going to do, excuse me, sit on here just like this. And that's what it needs to do. So let me get the bolts that I need, the new bolts, and we'll put this on. So I do have a couple of complications just with this deck in particular. One, you can probably see this right here. I'm gonna, actually the customer's gonna be here pretty soon to get something else from me, and I'm probably just gonna consult with them to see if they just want to get another blade as well, because the installation is good. As you can kind of see where the blade is, especially on this side. Well, maybe not. I apologize. But anyways, what it is, these are 12 millimeters, these new bolts. So I ran them up with impact just to kind of get them snug. Don't want to get too exciting with an impact because you don't want to strip out those aluminum threads. I'm just going to take this 1/4 inch, that's a 13. I'm going to take a 3/8 then. .13 millimeter. Just kind of make sure they're nice and snug so that I don't overdo it with the impact. And then these blades could definitely use sharpening, but we're going to put the blade back on. And the nut that came off the other spindle you need to use for the blade. And you should be good to go. So I'm going to tighten that up, and then we'll go on the other side and get the pulley. Alright, we're on the other side. I'm going to keep this deck tilted up like this, because if you don't, when you take the nut off, the shaft is going to try and push itself down. So I'm going to put this washer on. We've already put the pulley on. It has to fit into those grooves. Make sure that your shaft is pulled all the way up. And then we'll put it in those grooves. Put this nut on. And make sure that washer is flush. Make sure your pulley was in the grooves. And just tighten her up. Then you're good to go. So the deck spindle is on. Now we just need to put the deck back onto the mower, and we should be good. We'll see if we can do it without having to take this tension spring off. If I can, you know, pull it back strong enough. I was able to do it on another Cub Cadet earlier this week. Hope I can do it here. Belt wise, the condition looks okay. I'm going to consult with the customer about what they want me to do with this. I think I'm just going to cut it off, unfortunately, just because it looks like it's tried to been welded a few times, and it's just fighting losing battle at this point. So for the time being, I actually just cut that off. I know that's not very safe. I am going to tell her that I did that, and suggest that she find somebody to weld it. Looks like they had tried it once before. I'm not really interested in welding something like that back on. Because, like I said, a lot of times you're fighting a losing battle. My welding skills are not that great, And I don't really, I mean, it's not like I don't like to do it, it's just, if it's my own stuff, I can at least try it out. But if I'm sending something out, you know, where I can't test it out really well before, don't really like doing it. Plus, it'll save them a little bit of money too, for the time being. Getting the deck in, sorry for the aside, I just try to explain everything that y'all see in the video. Just gonna slide the deck back in. You can see the spindle's on, everything looks great. I kind of routed the belt already, so I'll probably go ahead and put the front back on. All I'm going to do is just hook up the front here. Slide the pin back in. Okay, well, almost. There we go. We'll come around, I'll show you this side so that I'm not sparing or wasting too much time. Again, we're just gonna push this up, turn it to 1, lower it down, line it up. You have a lot of space to get it right here. Slide the pin, oops, wrong way. Slide that locking pin in. Those are some of the hardest to get on and off, but we're gonna put, I'm gonna do that the other side, put that belt on. Basically all I'm gonna try and do is literally just pull that belt back as far as I can with the spring tension. I should be able to get it around the PTO. And then we'll test this thing out, see if this BeeSeeds spindle works. I'll grease it up as well if that greases her. Alright guys, so my theory worked to get this belt back on. I took some pliers and just grabbed, if I can get this off of the tripod here for you. Sun glare might be bad, but I just grabbed the belt, literally just grabbed it by some pliers, pulled it back, and rotated this, got it on this side, rotated this, and was able to get it in the groove there. One other way you can do it, a little bit of a pain, but if you don't have this, well, this requires a lot of strength too. You can take this tension spring off right here and then put it like what Rick Borman would describe as shoestring or some metal wire like I've got, but you need some strength to get that spring back on. So I would recommend trying the way that I did first with the pliers pulling the belt so that you got that spring tension going back. And if you can get it around that PTO pulley, you're golden. That's the best way I've found to do these Cub Zeros. So let me get everything cleaned up. I'll pull it out here. We'll give everything a test and see what's going on. And like I said, I'm gonna grease that grease fitting too real quick before we get going as well. Alright guys, I'm gonna get it out of the garage and test it out here. I can definitely tell you one thing. It is quieter than the one on the left. So glad we got that fixed. There's some sort of issue. I forgot this issue this thing had with the, whenever you turn the PTO off, it's like the magnets won't go back on, but they didn't request to have that fixed. They just needed the spindle done. I told them, hey, I can do it for, you know, basically my labor rate, since I did pay for it. This right here, I told him, I said, you'd probably want to get this fixed. She said she had it welded once before, but I think her son's a little rough on the mower. So spindle's on, works great, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video up here for this mower and the deck spindle. As y'all saw, like I said, it works great. Alright guys, so that is everything on this video. Basically how to replace, this is, like I said, the Ultima ZT1 Cub Cadet. This is a 42-inch deck. The spindle numbers are different for the each size decks for these Ultima ZT1s. So cross-reference your owner's manual. BeeSeeds should have, they have almost all the MTD spindles that you would need in stock on their Amazon website. And you can find all that information down below. So we fixed this, again, fairly easy. It's basically the same for any MTD mower, pretty much. You take the deck off, you take those 4 bolts off, you take those two 15/16 inch nuts off, and bam shazam, just plug and play after that. It's nice that, number one, the spindle comes with the threaded inserts for your mounting points. Some of them don't. And number two, that it comes with the bolts too. Sometimes they don't come with the bolts either. So you just kind of have to be careful who you're buying from. But the ones from BeeSeeds seem like they're just plug and play, which is great. If I won't film in this video, I'd probably have it done in 15 minutes. So, but I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you to BeeSeeds for sending me the product as well. It's because of people like you watching that people like BeeSeeds send me things to test out. And we're helping out the customer here because I was able to keep their costs down a little bit. So thank y'all again. Appreciate y'all watching this video. And I'll catch y'all next time on Ellis Mowers. If you have any questions about this video, you can also feel free to ask me. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Take care.